The locked capsule. The rain pounded against the windshield as Ethan gripped the steering wheel tighter, the narrow country road slick beneath his tires. He had never been out this far before, the GPS barely marking the winding path to the old family estate that he'd just inherited. A mix of curiosity and unease churned inside him. The estate was silent, draped in shadows under the stormy sky, the ancient oak trees creaking in the wind. The rusty iron gate groaned as Ethan pushed it open, stepping onto the cracked stone driveway. His breath came out in small puffs in the cool night air. Inside the house, the air smelled of dust and forgotten memories. Ethan's flashlight beam danced across peeling wallpaper and faded portraits of stern-faced ancestors. The house had stood empty for years, a relic of a family long gone. He moved toward the study at the back of the house. That's where the lawyer said he'd find the capsule. Ethan's heart pounded with an inexplicable mix of dread and anticipation. There, on the antique oak desk, lay a small metal cylinder about the size of a shoebox. Its surface was cold, smooth and completely sealed. No buttons, no markings, except for a faint, intricate symbol engraved on the side, something like an ancient key. Ethan reached out, hesitating for a moment before lifting the capsule. It was surprisingly light. As he turned it over in his hands, a subtle vibration began, like a heartbeat beneath the metal. His pulse quickened. Suddenly, a soft click echoed in the silent room. The capsule's surface shimmered, revealing a hidden panel that slid open to expose a dark hollow inside. From the shadows within came a faint glow, a pale blue light that revealed something curled up inside. Ethan blinked, his breath catching in his throat. A girl lay inside the capsule. Her skin was unlike anything he'd seen. Smooth, almost translucent, with a faint shimmer that seemed to ripple like liquid glass. Her hair was a cascade of silver blue, strands framing a delicate face that looked peaceful but fragile. Ethan swallowed hard. Was this some elaborate prank? A piece of advanced technology? His mind raced with questions, but before he could react further, the girl's eyes fluttered open. Her gaze locked onto his, deep and otherworldly. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. "I am yours," she whispered, her voice soft but firm. "Your wife." Ethan staggered backward, nearly dropping the capsule. "What? No, this has to be some kind of joke." But the girl's eyes held a strange certainty. She blinked slowly, searching his face as if trying to find a clue in his expression. "Your wife. You don't remember because of the memory. A veil, but I am yours." His mind reeled. How could this be? Who was she? And what was this memory veil she spoke of? Before Ethan could respond, a sudden pulse emitted from the capsule, and a holographic map flickered to life above it, casting ethereal light around the room. The map showed stars, strange symbols, and a path traced from a distant galaxy straight to Earth, right here, to this house. Ethan's heart pounded as the capsule emitted a low hum. Then an urgent signal beeped, cutting through the silence. His phone buzzed sharply on the desk. He glanced at the screen. An unknown number. "Ethan," a distorted voice whispered over the line. "You don't know what you've awakened. They're coming." A loud knock thundered at the front door. Ethan's eyes darted to the door, then back to the girl still lying inside the capsule. Fear and confusion warred within him. "Who's coming?" he asked, voice trembling. "The ones who want me back," she said softly. "And they won't stop." The door rattled again, harder this time. Ethan had no choice. He grabbed a heavy lamp and moved toward the door, protecting the capsule cradled in his other arm. As he reached the door, it burst open with a crash. Shadowed figure stood in the doorway, face obscured by the rain and night. "Ethan Morgan?" the voice called, calm but commanding. He tightened his grip on the lamp. "Who are you? What do you want?" The figure stepped inside, revealing a woman in a dark coat, eyes sharp and cold. "We need that capsule," she said flatly. "It belongs to the Federation." Ethan's mind spun. Federation? What Federation? I don't know what you're talking about, he said, backing away slowly. The woman's gaze flicked to the girl inside the capsule. That's no ordinary girl, she said, voice dropping to a whisper. She's a key, and you've inherited more than just an old house, Ethan. Ethan looked down at the girl again. She reached out a trembling hand toward him. Trust me, she said. I'm the reason your family is in danger. The rain beat harder, the storm outside echoing the storm inside Ethan's mind. Everything he thought he knew about his life, his family, and even reality itself was about to change. The aliens' claim. The rain had barely stopped when Ethan shut the door. Behind the woman in the dark coat, she introduced herself as Agent Claire, part of a mysterious organization called the Federation. Her eyes didn't waver as she explained their mission. Recover the alien girl in the capsule, whom they called a key to an interstellar alliance. Ethan's head spun with disbelief, but the girl in the capsule, still lying quietly, suddenly stirred. She opened her eyes again and whispered his name, Ethan, with perfect clarity. It was as if she knew him better than he knew himself. "Why are you calling me your wife?" Ethan asked, voice still shaky. The girl hesitated, her eyes filling with a strange sadness. "Because in another life, another time and place I am. You don't remember because of the memory veil. It was necessary to protect you both. But that bond still exists." Ethan swallowed hard, trying to wrap his mind around the impossible. His life had always been ordinary. Until now, Agent Claire's presence made Ethan uneasy. "Why should I trust you?" he asked. "We don't want to hurt you," Claire said evenly. "But there are forces, others, who will come looking for the capsule. If it falls into the wrong hands, it could mean war." Ethan glanced at the alien girl again. She was watching him, eyes filled with hope and fear. "I don't know what to do," he admitted. "Start by hiding her," Claire advised. "Keep her safe. I can help. But time is running out. A secret." Ethan had no choice. He moved the capsule to a hidden compartment beneath the floorboards, an old family secret he'd discovered while cleaning the house. There, the alien girl could remain unseen. Once she was safely hidden, Ethan and Claire sat in the dim living room, the storm outside giving way to the first light of dawn. Claire began to explain the Federation, an interstellar alliance formed to protect peaceful species and maintain balance in the galaxy. The alien girl, whose name was Lyra, was a member of a rare species called the Silari, known for their advanced technology and unique ability to connect minds. "The Silari have been watching Earth for decades," Claire said. "Lyra was sent here on a mission to unite her people with humanity, but something went wrong. She was captured, placed in the capsule, and sent away for protection." Ethan listened, still skeptical. "And you say she's my wife? How is that even possible?" Lyra, who had been quietly observing, spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. "We were bound by choice, a promise made to protect both our worlds. The memory veil was to keep you safe from enemies who sought to use our union against us." Ethan's mind raced. The idea that an alien could be his wife was beyond anything he'd ever imagined, but the sincerity in her eyes made him question his own disbelief. Unseen days passed, but Ethan felt the weight of unseen eyes watching his every move. He couldn't shake the feeling that danger was closing in. One night, as he left the house to get supplies, a black car slowly followed him down the deserted roads. Ethan's heart pounded. Were they after the capsule? After Lyra? He returned home and double-locked every door and window. He had to protect the secret and the girl who claimed to be his wife. Back inside, Lyra looked at Ethan with quiet understanding. "I know this is hard," she said, "but we must prepare. They will come." A mark of connection, Ethan noticed something strange one evening. Lyra's hand brushed against the capsule, and a faint light pulsed beneath her skin. He saw a tattoo-like symbol glowing on her forearm, an exact match to the symbol engraved on the capsule. "What does that mean?" Ethan asked. "It means our fates are linked," Lyra replied. "The symbol is a key, our connection. It's why they want me back." Ethan realized this was no ordinary inheritance. It was a legacy, one that carried the future of two worlds. The first attack, suddenly the house shook. Loud crashing noises echoed outside. Ethan grabbed a flashlight and peered through the window. Figures dressed in dark tactical gear swarmed. The property, moving swiftly toward the house. Ethan's blood ran cold. "They found us," he whispered. Claire appeared from the shadows, calm but alert. "Get ready. We're going to have to fight to keep her safe." Ethan's hands trembled as he held the lamp, ready to protect Lyra and the capsule. The battle was about to begin. Shadows at the door. The air was thick with tension as Ethan, Claire, and Lyra prepared for what felt like an inevitable confrontation. The dark figures outside were no ordinary trespassers. They moved with military precision, their footsteps muffled, but their presence undeniable. Ethan's hands shook as he loaded the old rifle he'd found in the basement. An antique, but better than nothing. Claire handed him a small device, whispering, "This will scramble their communications. It buys us time." The capsule hummed softly beneath the floorboards where Lyra lay hidden, and Ethan could feel the weight of what was at stake. Not just his life, but something much bigger. The siege begins. The first explosion rocked the front gate. The intruders had breached the estate's perimeter. Ethan crouched behind the heavy oak table in the living room, heart pounding, as footsteps echoed through the halls. Claire's voice was steady. "They'll come in soon. We hold them off. Protect Lyra at all costs." The front door splintered under a battering ram. Figures flooded in, shadows flickering in the dim light. Ethan fired the rifle, the crack echoing in the confined space. One intruder went down, but more kept coming. Claire expertly disabled a few with quick strikes, but they were vastly outnumbered. Suddenly, a blinding light flooded the room. The capsule beneath the floorboards pulsed, releasing a protective energy shield that shimmered like liquid glass. The intruders faltered, confusion spreading among them. "Lyra awakens." From beneath the floorboards came a soft, urgent voice. "Ethan, I must come out. They are stronger than we expected." Ethan pried open the hidden panel, and Lyra emerged, her form glowing faintly, her presence otherworldly but resolute. The attackers regrouped quickly, but Lyra raised her hands. A wave of energy surged from her fingertips, knocking several intruders. "Back with non-lethal force." "Stay back," she warned, eyes blazing with determination. Ethan watched, awe mixed with fear. Lyra was no helpless captive. She was powerful. The truth revealed after the attackers retreated, battered but not defeated. Claire explained everything. The Federation isn't the enemy. They want Lyra safe because her people have technology that could help humanity survive a coming cosmic threat. Ethan frowned. "Then who attacked us?" Claire's expression darkened. "A rogue faction, opposed to our alliance. They want control, no matter the cost." Lyra stepped forward. "They seek to use me as a weapon, but I am more than that. I carry the hope of two worlds united." Ethan felt the weight of those words settle heavily on his shoulders. A new plan. "We need to move," Claire said. "Staying here is too dangerous." Ethan nodded, glancing at Lyra. "Where do we go?" "There is a safe zone," Claire replied. "A place where we can get answers." Ethan packed what he could, old family heirlooms now meaningless compared to the truth he was living. As dawn broke, the trio slipped away into the early morning mist, the house now a memory fading behind them. A bond forged in the quiet moments. On the road, Ethan looked at Lyra and saw not an alien, but someone fighting to survive, to protect, to love. She reached for his hand. "We're connected, Ethan. Through memory or not, through time or space, this bond is real." Ethan squeezed her hand, unsure but willing to believe. The road ahead was uncertain, the future was unknown. But together they would face it. Sanctuary or trap? The early morning mist clung to the winding road as Ethan, Lyra, and Claire made their way toward the safe zone Claire had promised. The countryside slipped past, empty fields, dense forests, and the occasional abandoned farmhouse, signs that the world was already changing beneath the surface. Despite the relative quiet, Ethan's senses remained sharp. The attack on his home had shattered any illusions of safety. Now every shadow seemed to whisper threats. Arrival at the sanctuary. After hours of cautious travel, the trio reached the sanctuary, a hidden compound nestled in a valley surrounded by towering cliffs, shielded by technology that distorted signals and cloaked it from prying eyes. Claire guided them through a series of biometric scanners and security checks, their steps echoing in the sterile halls of the facility. "This is where you'll be safe," Claire assured Lyra, "at least for now." But Ethan wasn't convinced. The cold, clinical atmosphere felt less like refuge and more like a cage. Uneasy allies. Within the sanctuary, Ethan met others, scientists, diplomats, and soldiers from Earth and beyond, who had sworn allegiance to the Federation's mission. They spoke of interstellar politics, ancient rivalries, and a cosmic threat known only as the Void, a dark force consuming star systems and civilizations alike. Lyra was both a key and a beacon, able to unlock technology and knowledge vital to the survival of countless worlds. Yet, as Ethan observed, not all here welcomed her presence with open arms. Secrets unveiled. One night, unable to sleep, Ethan explored a restricted wing of the sanctuary. Drawn by a flickering light, he discovered a hidden lab where scientists studied fragments of alien technology. Among the data, he found encrypted files mentioning Project Memory Veil, an experiment designed to erase and manipulate memories of those connected to Lyra, including Ethan. A chilling realization dawned on him. The veil that wiped his memory might have been a deliberate act, not protection. Confrontation, determined to understand the truth, Ethan confronted Claire. "Why was my memory erased? Who decided I shouldn't remember?" Claire's face tightened, her usual calm faltering. "It was to protect you. And Lyra, the knowledge you carry is dangerous. If you remembered too soon, it could put you both in greater peril." Ethan's frustration boiled over. "I have a right to know everything, to make my own choices." Before Claire could respond, alarms blared through the sanctuary, an unexpected betrayal. Voices crackled over the intercom, warning of an internal breach. The rogue faction had infiltrated the sanctuary. Chaos erupted as armed guards scrambled to defend the facility. Ethan grabbed Lyra's hand, his heart pounding. "Stay close. We need to get to the command center." They raced through dim corridors, dodging panicked scientists and clashing soldiers. At the command center, Claire keyed in override codes. "They want Lyra," she said. "If they capture her, it's over for us." A desperate escape. The facility's defenses weakened as the rogue faction advanced. With no time to lose, Claire opened a hidden exit, a narrow tunnel leading deep into the cliffs. Ethan, Lyra, and Claire plunged into the darkness, their footsteps swallowed by the echoing void, emerging into a cavern illuminated by bioluminescent fungi. Ethan felt a strange calm amid the chaos. "We're not out of danger," Claire warned, "but this network of caves leads to an old Silari outpost." Lyra nodded. "There I can restore your memories. We can fight back." The bond strengthened as they settled into the cavern's shelter. Ethan looked at Lyra, her eyes glowing softly in the dim light. "We'll face this together," he said, determination firming his voice. Lyra smiled, a fragile hope blooming. "For The first time since the capsule had been opened, Ethan felt the threads of his forgotten past weaving back into the present. The lost memories. The glow from the bioluminescent fungi cast strange shadows over the jagged walls of the Silari cave. Outpost. Ethan sat cross-legged on the cold stone floor, Lyra beside him, her eyes closed in concentration. Claire was busy setting up a compact device, one of Lyra's advanced technologies salvaged from the outpost's ruins. "This is the memory restorer," Claire explained softly. "It can unlock the hidden recesses of your mind, the memories erased or blocked by Project Memory Veil." Ethan swallowed hard. He'd spent months with fragments of his past locked away, his life a puzzle missing key pieces. Now, the chance to reclaim that lost part of himself stirred a mixture of hope and fear. Diving into the mind, Lyra placed her hand gently on Ethan's forehead, and the restorer hummed to life. A faint pulse surged through Ethan's brain, and suddenly he was no longer in the cave, but standing in a dark chamber filled with swirling images. Visions flashed before him, alien ships, unfamiliar planets, and a young woman with shining eyes. The capsule. His marriage ceremony, moments of tenderness between him and Lyra, memories he'd never known but felt deeply connected to. Then darker scenes emerged, shadowy figures arguing, secret meetings, and the cold faces of those who had orchestrated the memory erasure. The truth of his heritage, Ethan awoke with a start, gasping for breath. "I remember," he whispered, "everything." He told Lyra and Claire about his past, how his family had been chosen to protect the capsule, how he and Lyra were bound by an ancient pact between their worlds, and how enemies sought to sever that bond for their gain. "But why erase my memory?" Ethan asked, his voice breaking. "To protect you from the truth too soon," Claire replied. "The knowledge could have destroyed you. It was a cruel mercy. A new threat emerges." Just as hope bloomed, the cave trembled with distant explosions. The rogue faction was closing in. "We must move," Lyra urged. "The outpost's defensive. Systems are offline." They gathered what they could and navigated deeper into the labyrinthine caves, guided by Lyra's innate knowledge. Ethan's mind raced, piecing together the fragments of his identity, while the reality around him grew. More perilous, an unexpected ally in a narrow passage. They encountered a figure cloaked in shadows. "Wait!" the stranger called out. Ethan raised his weapon cautiously. The figure stepped forward, a Silari warrior, tall and graceful, her eyes shining with fierce loyalty. "My name is Serin," she said. "I have come to help. The Federation sent me when they learned of the breach." Serin's arrival brought a new hope and new questions, a plan to fight back. Serin explained that the rogue faction had a secret base nearby, using captured Federation tech to strengthen their hold. "We must strike before they can launch an attack on Earth," she said. Ethan, Lyra, Claire, and Serin formed a pact, a desperate plan to infiltrate the base, retrieve vital intelligence, and expose the rogue faction's true motives. The mission was dangerous, but failure meant the end of any chance for peace. Bonds beyond worlds. As they prepared for the assault, Ethan and Lyra shared a quiet moment. "I never thought I'd find my past," Ethan said. "Or someone who understands it," Lyra smiled. "We are more than memories and promises. We are partners in survival, in hope." Ethan squeezed her hand, the weight of their shared fate settling between them. Together, they would face the darkness. Legacy of humanity. The rogue faction's base loomed ahead, nestled in the shadow of jagged mountains, its walls bristling with weaponry scavenged from countless worlds. Ethan's heart pounded as he, Lyra, Claire, and Serin crouched behind rocky outcrops, preparing for the final confrontation. This was no longer just about survival. It was about the fate of their worlds, the fragile alliance between human and Silari, and the truth that could reshape the future. The infiltration under the cover of night, they moved silently, slipping past patrols and bypassing security systems with Lyra's unique interface skills. Inside the compound, corridors stretched like veins through cold metal, humming with the pulse of stolen technology. Ethan's fingers trembled as he scanned. The data terminals, uncovering files detailing plans to weaponize Lyra's people's advanced tech, a plan to enslave both their species. The betrayal. Suddenly, alarms blared. From the shadows emerged soldiers, the rogue faction's elite, closing in with ruthless precision. "We were betrayed," Seren growled, firing her pulse rifle. Claire hacked into the security system to seal the exits, buying them time, but the base was collapsing into chaos. In the firefight, Ethan faced a grim truth. One of their own had leaked their location. A choice of sacrifice, with escape routes sealed. Ethan realized only one option remained, to manually overload the base's core and destroy the weapons cache. "This mission is too important," he told the group. "If we fail, everything we fought for will be lost." Lyra's eyes glowed with fierce determination. "We do this together." As Claire and Seren led the others to safety, Ethan and Lyra made their way toward the core chamber. The moment of truth sighed. The chamber, the hum of energy was deafening. Ethan placed his hand on the control panel, feeling the raw power coursing beneath. As they activated the overload sequence, the base trembled violently. In those final seconds, Ethan looked at Lyra, their bond transcending words. "No matter what happens," he said, "we'll always be connected." Aftermath and revelation, the explosion rocked the mountains, sending shockwaves felt miles away. When Ethan and Lyra awoke, it was to the gentle sunlight filtering through forest leaves. The sanctuary's rescue team had found them. The rogue faction was dismantled, their plans foiled. A new beginning back at the sanctuary. Ethan addressed the gathered diplomats, soldiers, and scientists. "The past tried to erase me," he said, "but our future depends on remembering who we are, human and alien alike." Lyra stood beside him, a symbol of unity and hope. Their story, once shrouded in mystery, now became a beacon of cooperation. The lesson Ethan's journey taught him that identity is not just memory, technology, or bloodline, but choice, courage, and connection. In a universe vast and uncertain, it is humanity's resilience and empathy that shine brightest. As he looked into Lyra's eyes, Ethan knew their legacy was just beginning. The end.